Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. You're welcome to Solomon's Temple. This is the place where we get to discuss everything concerning the biblical view of situations, of issues pertaining not just the church, outside of the church, in politics, in sports, in arts, entertainment, education, health. We ask ourselves the big question: how would God want us to see this situation? And that's what I'm going to be talking about in the next few minutes. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Please, if you haven't subscribed to this YouTube channel, please do so at Solomon's Temple. There are other great videos that I'm sure you're going to find very interesting if you do subscribe. Yeah, so we have been looking at different issues just around, and what I do normally is I do get an issue, investigate an issue, I get to ask questions around an issue, and then I put it out here for us to have discussions around, and my passion is Africa, to be honest with you, anything African. That's why I think on this YouTube channel, Solomon's Temple, there are a lot of Africans who are in diaspora. So what I meant by that is there's a lot of Africans who do not live and stay in Africa because of work, study, and different reasons. They live out there in the United States, in the UAE, in Canada, in the UK, all over, and they really want to know what's going on back home, and also that is in Africa, and what is a Christian view to it. And to be honest with you, for me, this platform is more about trying to find a biblical view to issues. It's about the truth and trying to find a biblical view to issues. That is finding the truth in the issues. That's what it is. Yesterday I was in court. Someone took me to court, and I mean, for just some reason, and it's just so pathetic that they wanted to, looking for a way to silence me. Unfortunately, I got a small victory yesterday. So unfortunately for them, fortunate for me. But the truth is something that we need to talk about regularly. The truth sets you free. If you do not know the truth, if you do not walk in the truth, I'm sorry, you're not experiencing freedom, or you're not going to experience freedom, because it's only the truth that sets you free. So if you are deceptive, if you are a consistent liar, if you are consistently dishonest, you are enslaved. You are not walking in freedom. But God wants you to walk in freedom. You can. This morning we're studying with my pastor and a couple of other people. We do this men's cell group online every Friday at 6:30 in the morning. And we read from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, where you're just talking about being led by the Spirit. He said you would, what eyes have seen, what ears have heard, what hearts have not imagined, he would reveal to you. He will reveal for those who love him. So you want to see what eyes have not seen? You have to love God. There's a condition to it. You want to hear what ears have not heard? Then what magnitude of love are you given to God? You have a role to play. Right? So anyway, just wanted to put that down there. Kanye, thank you so much for joining me from Brits. She's in the temple. And I got Charles Jr. He said, I hail, thanks for your efforts and care. Love to your Iyali. Thank you so much. Iyali is family in Hausa, Nigeria. Anna says, hello. Inyaniso say, good morning, Uncle Solomon, watching from Bizana town in the Eastern Cape. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Ben saying, hello, Uncle Solomon, you are doing a good job. Clean this dirty Africa. You must write a book about these fake prophets and name it Miracle Bible. Thank you for the idea. I'm actually thinking of writing a book. There are one or two obstacles that I want to get over. and then I would look for a way to write a book. But definitely something I'm thinking about. Pudi, all the way from Boroughbridge in the UK. Hope you're doing well. Anna, and from Hutchinson from the Bahamas. Thank you so much. Marion from Dallas, Texas. Lucas from Soweto, right here. Few, keep up the good work, Solomon. Sometimes we may be negative towards you, but it doesn't mean we hate you. Love you lots. Thank you so much. It's okay to disagree and agree. Sibongi Seni from the formerly Port Elizabeth. IK from Alberton. Thank you, guys. Thank you, each and every one of you guys. Really appreciate it. There's so many comments here. Rose from Australia. Thank you so much. Sherry from Germany. Thank you so much. Yeah. So I want to talk about something quickly. I'm going to do this broadcast and I'm going to be back in maybe an hour and a half to also do another broadcast around this actress, Nigerian actress, who actually got a PhD in ministry and arts. So she calls herself an apostle, and she got all that. And then she was speaking at the graduation and people were throwing money at her. She was preaching. So I don't know about you, but I have a problem with that. I'm gonna show you the video. We're gonna watch the video and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna be talking about a Nigerian billionaire who was recently, like I said in my own word, deleted by his side chick, right? So this is a 50-year-old man. He's a 50-year-old man. Here he is. He's a 50-year-old man. His name is Michael. 50-year-old man, Michael. He's the CEO of a technology company called Super TV, which is sort of like quite popular in Nigeria, right? It's sort of like quite popular in Nigeria. So that's his name, Michael. Michael Ataga, Osifo Ataga, or Ataga, like some people would call him. So he's a 50-year-old man, business. He lives in the choicest part of Lagos, Nigeria, which is called the Banana Island. So if you're in the UK, maybe you lived in where? Maybe Hyde Park. If you're in Johannesburg, maybe you live in an area like Santon, or those kind of Santon, Saxon World, that kind of places. So very upmarket. He's a married 50-year-old man. I want you to understand that. Married 50-year-old man. Well-known, business-wise, billionaire. And obviously, if you have a married 50-year-old man with kids, you would expect, he has kids, his wife has a good job, and they're doing very well. But on the side, unknown to many people, this man has been struggling and he's been seeing other younger women. Now, for a 50-year-old man, for a married man, one of the protection that we get when it comes to getting married and being faithful in our marriage is we get protection from a lot of consequences. We get protection from a lot of behavior, from a lot of sin, from a lot of damage. That's why I don't understand when I see people who are married, but they are unfaithful. They do not know that marriage actually, if you are faithful in your marriage, it offers you protection to a lot of mental issues, to a lot of, health issues, to a lot of spiritual issues. A lot of people do not understand that, So when I see people who are unfaithful, it just totally mess up my mind. It's like, don't you see it? Don't you see that being married and being faithful to one woman, your wife, the way God actually created it, is a protection for you against a lot of societal problems, against what is going to damage and destroy you. either destroy you physically, destroy you spiritually, or mentally, or even your health. But we don't sit down and evaluate and measure that, unfortunately. And for me, that's my revelation. If there's one reason that I'm going to stay faithful in my marriage until I die, faithful to my wife, faithful to one woman, is because God has shown me the benefits outside of the promise that I made to him to stay faithful. Remember, I didn't promise my wife to stay faithful. I didn't promise my wife to love her all. No, I made that promise to God first. And God, who created her, now asked me to make that promise to her so we can be partners together. So this 50-year-old man, unfortunately, lacked faithfulness. And that led him to meet a younger girl, this girl called Chidima, who is 21-year-old. So this was a situation between a 50-year-old married billionaire with a 21-year-old University of Lagos, Nigeria, second-year mass communication student. She's a student looking to get ahead, to pay her fees, to have money to at least take care of herself in school. Obviously, we know a lot of students, university students, that actually live that kind of life. They have sugar daddies, sugar mummies, or, to help them go through, you will see them wearing expensive clothes and dressing very nice and all that kind of stuff. And you wonder where they got the money from. But that's how they keep themselves through school. Maybe they come from poor background. But for this girl, Chidima, 21-year-old, for her to even get into a University of Lagos, she's done well. It shows she has a focus. I mean, she's really pushed herself to see the importance of education. Obviously, she didn't come from a home that can take care of her as she wanted. I'm going to play you the video of her confession of what she did to him and how he passed away. I'm going to play you the video just so you can have an idea. And then we would keep talking while the video is playing. So here's the video of the girl who used a knife on him. He passed away. Now they were looking for her and they arrested her days later at her parents' home after she ran away. After he was found, he never returned home and all that kind of stuff. His friends were looking for him, people were looking for him. But she narrated how they met, what happened that night, and everything. So I'm going to play that, for you, just so you can get the full gist from her. She was arrested by the police, and the police now presented her to the media for the media to ask her questions. And this is what happened when the media was asking her questions. This is what she has to say.
Stopping me. That's how we were both going about. He was stopping me. We even locked the door. It was really key. We locked the door. I didn't know where he kept the key. So when I get to the door, he draw me back. And that was what happened.
Okay.
You can see her very innocent, very young, 21-year-old. Now her life is almost like shattered. She's probably going to spend the next 20 years or so in prison.
The first one was both. The first one was twice. For instance, the first one on the next side. That was the first one. And then when I started doing the first one twice, I threw the knife on the bed. Then he was going for it while I went for it. So while I laid on the bed, that's when it came on me to hold the knife, and that's when I managed to stab him with the knife. And
Please, the volume is a bit low. If you can pump it up yourself where you are, or use a headphone.
And then as he was holding it, the knife broke. So it slipped off from his hand. I still managed to help held to it, but then it was now weak, and then we fell on the floor.
Okay, so why did you like? What was it about the first time that you didn't like? What did you do, or what happened?
I was trying to I was trying to sleep. It was midnight, so we were drunk and we have smoked, so I was already like sleepy, and then I was already sleepy, and then when it came to me, that was what happened. It was valid about.
What kind of smoke? What did you guys smoke?
It was SK loud. How was it?
Yes, and loud.
Was there weed in the room?
That's good now. Let's get it.
It's not.
How were you upstairs?
They came to my house. And that's how I was.
Okay, do you live with your parents?
Yeah.
Where?
Yeah, that didn't do about.
Okay, how long have you known this guy and how did you meet him?
Exactly.
I've known him for 4 months, 5 months. I met him through friends.
A friend introduced him to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so how regular do you people see?
Not regular. Not regular.
What kind of video? He was coming from
That was my first time.
I need you to explain that because you know a lot of people do turn that to mean a lot of people. When you see the car, you don't feel it.
To sleep at that time. That was I mean.
Okay, so how long did you guys stay? Did you check in on Sunday? When did he die? Which day did he die? And when did you leave him? And how were you able to escape from the room after killing him, or you just walked away?
Well, while he was lying there, I changed and then I left the room. I looked for the key for where he ate it and I let it go.
So when you escaped, who did you reach out to? Where was the first place you went to?
I didn't reach out to anybody.
So how do you feel when you know that you have killed somebody and you just sneaked out? How do you feel at 21 committing this kind of crime?
So she's just basically saying what happened, how she escaped, how they were all high, they had drugs, and then they were sleeping. And then the first time he wanted to have sex, she said no. He forced her, and then later on again, he wanted to have sex again, and then that was when she said no. And she went to the kitchen, got a knife, and he wanted to force, and then she hit him with the knife.
How did you get such amount of money?
So now they're asking her that she took his bank card and got money, but she said she just got the money to pay her school fees. That she didn't take the millions that they spoke about. She only took, I think, 500,000 or so. Given her side of the story is by consent, she agrees to do that. Nobody is gonna force her to do that. So,
what did you plan to do with the money?
What I plan to do with money?
The money you withdrew from his account.
To pay my fees.
Okay, now the guy who brought the drugs, who called the guy, whose customer is that guy who brought drugs to you guys?
It was the one that called me.
Is it the first time the guy went to supply drugs to both of you?
I don't know. He's always having smoke with him. So I don't know if that was the first time.
In 4 months you've known him. How many times have you gone out with him?
so she's known him for 4
What's
months,
the difference with this particular one?
and they drink and smoke and use drugs.
We haven't gone out. It's always like
And that same day it happened, they also used drugs.
Is it BDC or Banana Island? Where is it BDC or Banana Island?
So how do you feel when
I felt disappointed.
How did your parents get to know about this whole situation? Did you inform them yourself or how?
It was that day.
Around one time, can you speak up, please?
Please speak up.
I think
Can you
it was 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Either 9 or 10. It was already very late. Yes, it was late.
So when you do you live in school or you live with your parents?
I stayed with my
You
parents.
stay with your parents and you left on a Sunday and this happened when? That's like 3 days interval or thereabout. Where did you tell your parents you were going to?
I told him I was going for auction.
For what?
Ushering job?
Yes.
Have you been doing it before?
What country?
Just gonna forward it. It's so sad to see a very young girl. Now she might never get to finish university again.
Thank you for being bold, okay?
For some of you guys that would know, interrogating her in public like this is normal in Nigeria,
Chidima, please look
and you do that based on her consent.
Just
Chidima.
They are capturing your
let's go.
Wait, I beg. Chidima, just look here, please. Look here. Please now. Chidima, please look up. Look up now.
She's very beautiful.
How about the ladies?
We should take her from back.
All right, so if you are just joining us, we are at the Lagos State Police Command where the Commissioner of Police has presented the prime suspect who murdered the CEO of Super TV. She was said to be seeing him. She was said to be his girlfriend, and she just explained everything that happened to us here. She said they were taking drugs. They were, according to her, they were taking loud. They were taking what she called SK, and they were also having fun. And she didn't want him doing more things with her, and they had an argument, and she stabbed him twice. Her name is Chidima. She is a 300 level student of the University of Lagos. She's studying mass communication in Unilag. So here she is. Chidima is her name. And she has confessed to the police of thoroughly killing the CEO of Super TV. She's being taken away now. Yeah, she's about to be taken away now, and there she is now on a mask, and she explained everything that happened.
So we stop it there, right? So this is very sad and, very, very painful to see that, there's somebody that lost his life, and then the young life that took his life, the 21-year-old, who is just 1 year short of graduating from university, might not be able to finish university again for the rest of her life. Now she would have to go to prison, depending on what sort of attorney and lawyers she would get to argue that it might probably be self-defense, because they were all high, they were using drugs. But you have a 50-year-old man, a drug user, a successful businessman, married with kids, now going after kids like that. We have it quite a lot in Africa. There's no excuse for it, right? We have even a lot of pastors and leaders, politicians that are doing that. We can never condone that. And we must never condone that. He was very unfaithful. And these people will claim to be Christians, both of them. And that's what I spoke about, faithfulness in marriage. If you're not faithful in your marriage, you just endangered your life and you endangered your family life. Because you endangered your life, now he has lost his life, right? The family, his mother, his parents, they've lost a child. His children have lost a father. His wife has lost a husband because of his unfaithfulness. Not because somebody made him on the street and then decided to take his life. No, because of his choice. The choice is called unfaithfulness. He chose not to be faithful. And then you have this young girl, 21-year-old girl, mass communication, 300 level, third-year student. Now you're in a relationship with somebody who's older. Now, some of you guys know people like that, or maybe you've been that way yourself. Because you want the financial, the financial aspect, the rewards that come with it, the benefits that come with it. Not having enough money is not an excuse to have a relationship with a married man who would give you money. It's not an excuse. Being poor is not an excuse to go and steal. It's not an excuse. So you have these two lives. And the lives are gone, unfortunately. Let me read for you a scripture from Proverbs chapter 6, verse 26. It says, "For the price of a prostitute is only a loaf of bread, but a married woman hunts down a precious life." What does that say? Prostituting yourself, that means you're here having a relationship, here having a relationship, there having a relationship, there. You can only get a loaf of bread. It's only a loaf of bread. It's small. The reward is small. But a married woman, but if you're married, but someone who you're married, that means you're not just married by saying it, you're married by doing it, by being faithful, by being committed to whatever is expected for marriage. You are hunting down a precious life. That's the reward. So do you want a loaf of bread or you want a precious life? And unfortunately, these two people, their choices at that time when this incident happened a few days ago, it was for a loaf of bread. For the married 50-year-old businessman and for the single student who is 21 years of age. Choices, loaf of bread. What do you want to settle for? Do you want to settle for a loaf of bread? Or do you want to go all the way for a precious life? And that's what relationship is all about. That's what marriage is all about. That's what faithfulness, even you as a single, being faithful to your sexual purity, to your commitment, when you're in a relationship and all that, being married, that's what it takes. So it's really, really sad to see that, and to see that her life has been thrown totally away. And I just pray that she'll be able to not give up on life. She's just 21. It just happened now. So the reality and the pain that is going to hit her is yet to come. It's going to come. After about 5 years in prison, then she will realize that, wow. And her friends would have graduated, gotten jobs, married and having kids. She might never have kids. She's 21. So if she spent 20 years in prison, now she has to be out. And then she needs to be in a relationship before getting married. So chances are she's not going to be able to get married again. But I pray that she will get justice for whatever she's done. At least if she's repentant, like we saw now, she'll be able to get maybe 10 years. Then she will be out in her 30s and she would have another shot at life. And that's what it's really all about. But for men who are older, who just kept going after these young girls, you are enslaving yourself. You are a disgrace. You are a shame. For pastors and prophets, we know them who have hotels, who they go to speak in a different city, and they have a girl in their hotel waiting for them already. It can't be that way. We cannot continue that way. Faithfulness has a reward, and we must keep pursuing it. Anyway, let me leave you here. I'm gonna be back in a bit with a video that I'm gonna be playing you a video of someone, a Nigerian actress who is an apostle preaching, and money is being thrown at her. Do you agree with that kind of behavior? Is that part of our African culture that is really getting us enslaved? Or is it something that we really need to sit down and reconsider and say, oh, this might be the African culture we experience when we go to weddings, naming ceremonies, or any sort of celebration. But when it comes to God's word, God's presence, church, should we do that? Should we do that? Join me in a bit. Please make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel right now, and I'll see you in a bit.